Do you want to play Commander on hard mode? Well, perhaps you want to pick up one of the worst legendary creatures in Magic the Gathering. Today we're going to look at some of the stinkers. And don't be offended if you play some of these. I play Merfolk in Modern. It's always been considered one of the worst decks, but I still win with it anyway. Although I have to admit, I am playing on hard mode. Let's start it off with the Blind Seer. So for a blue, 2 generic, we got a big 3/3 creature. It is a legendary creature. Now, it's got the amazing activated ability. Pay a blue 1 generic, target spell or permanent becomes the color of your choice until end of turn. That's right. So, I don't even know how I could even use this, even in a niche situation. Target spell or permanent becomes the color of your choice until end of turn. No, I'm completely drawing a blank. I think he sees more than he lets on, says Gerard. I believe this is supposed to be Urza. It's Urza in disguise. I've seen that shoal. I would have seen that shoal anywhere. You hate Crovax, Liquid Soulfly. Crovax the Cursed. Crovax the Cursed. What do we got over here? Oh, it's a Crovax. Sorry, Crovax the Cursed. We got black, 2 generic. For a vampire, that's 0/0. Crovax the Cursed enters the battlefield with 4 +1/+1 counters on it. So it's like a 4/4 for 4 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sack a creature. If you do, put a counter on Crovax. If you don't, remove a counter from Crovax, and it gains flying for a black. So it's like a really... So it's like a sack outlet, but only a sack outlet at your upkeep, and only 1 creature a turn. A very unreliable sack outlet at that. What else do we have here? Oh yeah, anyway, yeah, Crovax the Cursed is cursed. Cursed to hell. Oh, Octrox, Manichi, the Fever Dream. Manichi! What's going on here? For a red 2 generic, we have a 1/2 spirit. Pay a red 1 generic. Switch each creature's power and toughness until end of turn. How to use this card? And it's mono red. So like if you want to commit to this card in Commander, you're like an all and only red card. Switch each creature's power and toughness until end of turn. Well, if you're teaming up with a Doran player, this might work out very well. Oh no, hold on. No, it kills the Doran, doesn't it? Switch each creature's power and toughness until end of turn. So if it's 0 power, it dies. It's a goner. Yeah, it can kill. It's the wall killer. Manichi, the Fever Dream. Giving fever dreams to the walls. But pretty pathetic creature overall. 1/2, not very strong stats. Cheap card to put onto the battlefield, but its activated ability, something a little bit more to be desired. A little bit more to be desired. What else do we have here? Daughter of Autumn. Oops, no, sorry, I spelled daughter wrong. Daughter of Autumn. So green, 2 generic. We have a 2/4 creature. What's the Oracle text here? I'm not even gonna read any of this nonsense over here. For a white, the next 1 damage that would be dealt to target white creature this turn is dealt to Daughter of Autumn instead. So you don't take the damage. I'm gonna take the damage. I'm gonna take the dive for you. And only to the white creatures. So you get to play with the Selesnya colors, if I understand correctly. 4 mana for a 2/4. It's going to absorb some damage from other creatures. This is awful. Can we make use out of this with, what's it called? Are there any cards where they... are there any auras where if the creature deals damage, you can deal damage to the opponent? So, like, we prevent the damage from our white creatures, we redirect it to the Daughter of Autumn, but then it gets redirected to the opponent. I don't know if such a thing exists. Levy with the Veldrane of Sengir. Veldrane of Sengir. For a black 5 generic, we have a 5/5 legend with the activate. So, whoa, this is 7 mana. Before we go too far, this is a 7 mana Homelands card. And it looks like something from, what's it called? I don't want to say The Walking... What is that? What is that movie? I can't remember. I'm mixing up my movies with people with eye patches. Alright, so we've got the activated ability of Black, 1 generic. Veldrane of Sengir gets -3, -0, and gains Forest Walk until end of turn. Holy crap! This thing's really useless. So we're gonna, like, basically reduce the power by 3. It's gonna be a 2-power creature. Only that it can, only it can be unblockable. Only to be unblockable. Not worth it! This is, hold on, is this like one of the worst we've seen so far? Pretty bad card. It's David Bowie. Is it David Bowie? What am I thinking of? You know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of that show where the guy has like a chainsaw for an arm. But, I don't remember. I don't remember if the guy had an eye patch as well. Joven. Oh, this guy. We saw this guy the other day, didn't we? We saw, Joven. We saw this guy the other day. He looks like a bouncer. So we got a red 3 generic for the 3/3 legend. And you can pay triple red, tap, destroy, target, non-creature artifact. So its claim to fame is blowing up your mana crypts, your soul rings, your, mana crypt, soul ring, grim monolith, Lotus Petal, maybe Jeweled Lotus, etc. Homeland Strikes... yeah, Homeland Strikes Again. They were legendary for their poor legends. Didn't Homelands come after the Legends set? With a bunch of real legends? Oh, we got the Blue Bomber. Thanks so much for the super chat. A name as one. What do we got here? Oh my goodness. Okay, green, black, 8 generic, so 12 mana. Never even heard of this card. Okay, 8/8. When a name as one comes into play, if you played it from your hand, you may... Okay, so which you're not as a commander. You may search your library for a spirit card to put into play, then shuffle your library. When a name as one is put into a graveyard from play, you may remove it from the game. If you do, return target spirit card from your graveyard to play. That's not too... The second part is not too bad, but the first part is going to be completely useless if you try to play this as your commander. Because you never actually cast this thing from your hand. They were trying to balance it out somehow. Steven with the super chat. Early dragons. Dromar the Banisher, for example. Is that from Invasion? This sounds familiar. It is from Invasion! I still got it! Dromar the Banisher, a black, blue, white, 3 generic. I know because I opened these cards. I started playing around Invasion. This is like, I guess the set that is most, I don't want to say nostalgic. Wasn't thrilled about the set, but it was the first set that I got to play with and draft. Flying 6/6. When Dromar the Banisher deals combat damage to a player, you can pay a blue 2 generic. If you do, choose a color. Return all creatures of that color to their owner's hands. That is not the worst ability of all abilities, but I do remember these dragons back in the day were really underwhelming. Joven looks like Kerry King in the 80s. Fine. Who's Kerry King? I don't know if I can find an 80s version of this guy. I'll just have to take your word for it. Alright, what else do we got here? Dromar Love Baby Chromium. King Ginger says Mishra, Artificer Prodigy. Mishra. Is this thing useless? Okay, so we got a red, black, blue, 1 generic for a 4/4 human artificer. Whenever you play an artifact spell, you may search your graveyard, hand, or... Whenever you play an artifact spell, you may search your graveyard, hand, and or library for a card with the same name as that spell and put it into play. If you search your library this way, shuffle your library. So maybe under normal circumstances, if you're playing with, like, you know, 60 card magic, and you can play with 4 of anything, this card is good. Or fine, I should say. But if you're playing Commander, this is completely useless. Because you cannot find a second copy of a card because this is a singleton format. Oh, look at you guys. Okay, Tomik, the Distinguished Advocate. Tomik, Distinguished. Has anyone, just out of curiosity, has anyone ever faced any of these cards? You know, you like, has anyone like showed up with Mishra's Artificer's Prodigy? Maybe they're just flexing, say, I don't even need the commander, I just need the colors. That's all. I don't even need to play the commander. Okay, what's Tomik like? A white 2/3 flyer. Human Advisor. Lands on the battlefield and land cards in graveyards can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control. Your opponents can't play land cards from the graveyard. What is this supposed to try to play against? What is the card called? Something of Worlds. Crucible of Worlds. Like, that's the only thing I could think of. It's like, well, someone deep in the past says Crucible of Worlds is too powerful. We need to print an answer to it. Say no more! We've got Tomik, Distinguished Advocate. An advocate against Crucible of Worlds. Anti-Ponza as well. Is there, like, any Ponza commander deck? Like, they try to blow up all your lands, like, one at a time? It seems like the worst strategy. Oh, Meek with the super chat. Thanks so much. Items, all seeing. Clunky in all formats. Atemis. Atemsis, all seeing. There we go. So blue, 3 generic for a 4/5 flyer. You can, though, pay a blue, 2 generic, tap, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. That's card advantage. Whenever Atemis All-Seeing deals damage to an opponent, you may reveal your hand. If cards with at least 6 different converted mana costs are revealed this way, that player loses the game. It deals damage to an opponent, you may reveal your hand. And if cards with at least 6 different converted mana costs, this is a challenge accepted type of card. I could totally see myself losing to this, though. If I'm not really paying attention to what my opponent's doing. Imagine your opponent's like, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards, and then all of a sudden, they attack! With like 6 cards in their hand! You better believe they're gonna be sweating bullets. Alright, we got David here with the super chat. Arcady Sabbath. Holy moly! At least in the band colors. Okay, blue, white, green, 2 generic. For a 7/7 flyer. Oh, this is an original Elder Dragon. Looks like a pig. Looks more boar than dragon. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice Arcady Sabbath unless you pay blue, white, green. That was so weird. What a weird mechanic at the time. This perpetual, like, upkeep. Or you have to lose your creature. Untapped, non-attacking creatures you control get +0/+2. They have to be untapped. They cannot be attacking. So they can't even attack with vigilance. Once they start attacking, they lose their toughness. And then pay a white, Arcady Sabbath gets +0/+1 until end of turn. We're already sinking so much mana into paying this thing's upkeep cost. We're not going to have any mana for this ability. At least A tier because it's Bant. Is Bant a good color pie, is it? The dragons. It's funny, a lot of dragons showing up on this list. LOL, I used to think it looked great and never got to play it. Oh, you mean the Atamis All-Seeing? Anything's possible in this world. John! Shamatsu! The Blood Clocked. What is this? Shamatsu. Alright. Red, 3 generic for a 0/0 comes into play. Sack any number of permanents. Shamatsu comes into play with that many +1/+1 counters on it. Oh my goodness! Their dominion over dark and destructive forces twisted the Ani into beings of pure malevolence. Imagine playing this thing in Commander. Okay, it comes into play. I'm going to sack all my permanents. It's like a 5/5. The upside is almost nothing. Again, I guess you have to have some sacrifice synergy with this card. But then, let's say you kill it and you want it to come back, and then you have to sack some more stuff if you're every single time you bring it back from the command zone. This card is terrible. You know, you guys are going to inspire me to make a top 10 out of these worst creature cards. Worst legendary creatures. Approaching Calamity. Thanks so much for the super chat. You like Donkey Kong? I was trying to make a strictly common commander deck. Found Sivitri Scarzam. Good colors, I guess. Is it common? Sivitri Scarzam. Does it say whether it's... It looks like a common, but I can't tell for sure. Okay, legendary creature. It's black, blue, 5 generic. Oh, it's just a 6/4. That's it. Well, I'll be damned. We got a vanilla creature, but we're in the Dimir colors, so thank God, because we can still play the Thoracle combo as far as I'm concerned. We already did Blind Seer, Larry. It was the first one. Thanks so much for this. Thank you so much for the super chat, Approaching Calamity. I really appreciate it. Sivitri Scarzam. I like the picture. I like this woman riding this dragon. It's one of those cards. Okay, is she really 6'4"? Or is it the dragon that's 6'4"? This is like one of those... Maybe we should have a show, like pictures that don't... Or, I don't know, creature types that have nothing to do with the power and toughness in creature. Like, there's... Obviously, this is the dragon that's attacking you. She's riding it like a horse. But still, the dragon is the thing defeating me. Not specifically her. I guess you have to give some credit to her because she's wielding the dragon, but whatever. She's 6'4". Is that what... does it say that on the card? Even the brave have cause to tremble at the sight of Sivitri Scarzam. Who else has tamed Scarzam's dragon? I mean, she might be big. Dragons are usually big. Alright, so we're going to look at way more worse legendary creatures from beyond the past, but we have to do some housekeeping first. You know that housekeeping. We got to thank our sponsors, FusionGamingOnline.com. If you're looking for some Phyrexia Olby 1 cards, you want to pre-order them, you know where to get them to support the channel. You get them at FusionGamingOnline.com. Deal of the week this week, save 15% off all the list singles. I don't know if we're going to see the worst legendary creatures on the list, but nonetheless, if you also wanted to buy the worst legendary creatures, you can also get them at FusionGamingOnline.com. And with a discount, because with coupon code Nikachu, you get 5% off all your purchases. And we're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. Play any format, anytime you want. I'm playing Pioneer right now. I got to experiment with Bant Spirits. I experiment with Mono Blue. I did a little bit with Blue White. I'm settling on Bant because I'm renting with Mana Traders to figure out exactly what is the best variation without sinking too much money into it. And you can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_EK2. And now back to the worst legendary creatures. Arikusu, thanks so much for the super chat. Not sure if Norin the Wary is a good... I don't know. Isn't this the thing that, like, it comes, it goes? It's the thing that makes a lot of trigger problems on Magic the Gathering Online. All right, Norin the Wary for red. You're stuck in the red color pie. It's a 2/1 human warrior. When a player plays a spell or a creature attacks, remove Norin the Wary from the game, return it to play under its owner's control at end of turn. So it's a blinking card. I have no idea if it's any good or not either. Norin used to be okay, why used to be? It's funny. We've went from could potentially be the worst to maybe potentially be the best. What was its combo? Norin is awesome. Don't speak ill of the Norin. All right, okay, let's not upset the Norin the Wary fan club out there. Okay, we got John. John with the super chat. Er-Drago from Legends, not the blue-red dragon. So Er-Drago. The hell is this? Did you see that? I've never, like, looked up a card and it gives me this nonsense. Okay, let's look at one of these things. From Legends? I'm not looking this up right, am I? What's from Legends? Oh, Er-Drago. There we go. What the hell is with this picture? Okay, what is the creature type? It is an elemental. Okay, we got a blue, blue, black, black, 3 generic. For a 4/4 with first strike, we're already doing better than your average worst creature card. Creatures with creatures with Swamp Walk may be blocked as if they did not have this ability. Creatures with Swamp Walk may be blocked as if... Okay, so basically, you may block... No, sorry. Anyone can block Swamp Walk creatures, even if you have a swamp. They had to balance out Swamp Walk back then. Swamp Walk was busted. A lot of decks were playing Dark Ritual back then, so black was one of the more popular colors. It's funny, I was about to say, well, I'm going to say, I don't know what to feel about this picture. It's very different. Made by Christopher Rush. Broken! I could block Swamp Walk creatures? You don't say. Okay, Steven with the super chat. Nicol Bolas, Legends. The OG. Oh, don't tell that to Lord Magicus. Lord Magicus, keep your hands over your ears. Well, where is the original one? This one? Let's look at in the Legends form. Flying. An opponent damaged by Nicol... Okay, so it's red, red, black, black, blue, blue, 2 generic. I didn't know he liked Reed so much. He looks like such a humble person here. And then he's made out to be such a bad guy for the rest of the lore. Elder Dragon Legend. Flying. An opponent damaged by Nicol Bolas must discard an entire hand. Ignore this effect if opponent has no cards left in hand. and then you have to pay the Grixis during your upkeep. Or Nicol Bolas is buried. You know what I value more than what was the guy? What did he say? I'm here in my garage. Lamborghini. Yeah, here's my Lamborghini. But you know what I like more than a Lamborghini? Knowledge. Here, this is a knowledge. Nicol Bolas showing off his bookshelf. Yeah, knowledge. It's all about... Okay, Nicol Bolas, show us your Lamborghini. Nicol Bolas and his Lamborghini. Okay. Moving on. We have, what's it called? Erikusu again. Would he be Elish Norin when completed? Oh! Nice pun. Nice pun. Nico looks like that one old guy at the library. It's not combat damage. Hold on. If an opponent damaged by... Whenever Nicol Bolas deals damage to an opponent, that player discards their hand. So what, you could like put some pinging aura on it? I don't think that makes Nicol Bolas, the OG Nicol Bolas, good all of a sudden. JML says, did we do General Jarkeld? Nope. The General. I don't know what any of these cards are. The General Jarkeld, a white 3 generic, for a 1/2 creature. So mono white maybe is coming into style now. Don't underestimate mono white. They can draw cards and all sorts of stuff these days. So we tap it. I'm just gonna read the Oracle text because I don't trust the old text. Choose 2 target blocked attacking creatures. Okay, so 2 creatures attack, they got blocked. If each of those creatures could be blocked by all creatures that the other is blocked by, each creature that's blocking exactly one of those attacking creatures stops blocking and is blocking the other attacking creature. Activate only during the declare blocker step. I'm giving this the buzzer because I don't even want to understand what any of that means. I read the card. Some of you people are like, Nikachu, why don't you read the card? I read the card. I don't get it. And I don't want to get it. What is this? Irene Singer. Irene Singer. This is a vampire, isn't it? Black, 2 generic for a 2/2 legend. White enchantments and green enchantments each cost an additional 2 to cast. That's not the worst. This might be the best legend that we have seen all today. It's still narrow as hell. It would be way better if it was like green what? So white enchantments and green enchantments each cost an additional 2 to so it's taxing something. I'm not entirely sure what the most popular green and white enchantments are in Commander. That this is going to slow down. But this actually is the most, I think this is the most resourceful Commander that we've seen today. For a bad card. This is the best of the worst. What else do we have here? Thought Police with Aki Lava Runner. Aki Lava Runner. What the hell is this? Okay, red 3 generic haste. Whenever Aki or Lava Runner deals damage to an opponent, flip it. Let's flip a Rooney. And then Talk Talk Volcano Born. Pro red. If a red source would deal damage to a player, it deals that much damage plus 1 to that player instead. Reminds me of like Hardened Scales. Am I thinking of that right? Yeah, Hardened Scales. If a counter gets put on, you get 1 extra counter. In this case, this is in this case, it deals extra damage. Haste, when it deals damage to an opponent, flip it. I like this design. I don't know about other people. I mean, sure, when it's tapped, you have no idea what the hell is what, but I actually like the old design like this. These, like, split cards make no sense to me. And frankly, I hate flipping cards over. I mean, maybe Commander players don't know this, the wrath of this, but, like, in tournaments, taking the card out, flipping it over, re-sleeving it, and then I gotta remember to re-flip it before my game ends. It's awful. Steven Alares, Platyamoors. What is going on here? It's all these old cards. White, white, green, green, red, red. 2 generic for a 7/7. Flying and trample. Some basic stats for a Naya card. And at the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice unless you pay white, red, and green. Eternally taxed forever. Trevor Peebles. Have you done Chromium today? No. Chromium? What the hell is Chromium? Another dragon. Should just be a list of, like, the worst dragons ever in Magic the Gathering. Black, black, blue, blue, white, white, 2 generic. Flying with I don't even know how Rampage works. Whenever this creature becomes blocked, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn for each creature blocking it beyond the first. So hold on, I need 2 creatures blocking it? So if there's 1 creature, it's no good. But if there's a second creature, I get +2/+2. And then, of course, you have to sack it unless you pay the Esper cost every single turn. All legendary from 3 Kingdom, also awful. We doing all the OG Elder Dragons or what? Says Joel. What's going on here? Okay, we got Moonlit Rose. Akuta. Akuta Matata. Born of Ash. Hakuna Matata. Okay, black, black, 2 generic for a 3/2 spirit. Haste. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have more cards in hand than each opponent, you may sacrifice a swamp. If you do, return Akuta Born of Ash from your graveyard to play. Interesting. So, like, you don't even have to put it in the command zone if you don't want to. Just let this thing die. But it's only a 3/2 with haste. Like, no special abilities. Just gonna have to, like, deal that command. It's the 3 power is divisible by 21. So that's just 7 attacks and you dead. That commander damage is going to add up. El Landis, Princess Lucrezia? Princess Lucrezia? Black, blue, blue, 3 generic for a 5/4 human wizard. That is a creepy picture. That's going to be in my fever dreams. Human wizard. Tap, add a... We got ramp! We got a blue ramp. We got a blue finally, the blue ramp that the whole world was waiting for. This card is insane. Unfortunately, I already need to have 6 mana in order to cast this thing. But it's going to help me cast other things. Tap to add a blue to my mana pool. Yeah, blue ramp for 6 mana. Hey! We're doing what we got to do around here to get that blue ramp. Liquid Soulfly is like, a danger, it's shred. Be careful giving blue ramp. They'll tear you apart with it. We have blue ramp at home. The blue ramp. Yeah, we have blue ramp at home. The blue ramp at home. With this crazy face. Ramp in the command zone? Absolutely broken. This is a funny card. Is this like the only ramp? Is this like the only blue ramp in the game? I've never seen this. This looks like an AI generated card as far as I'm concerned. The only like mana that I've ever seen added is like white, green, or colorless. That's it. I've never seen blue. I mean, I've seen black, but not for tap. Anyway. High Tide is ramp. Well, not on a creature. Like, it's not like a Llanowar elf. This is the closest I've seen to like a Llanowar elf in like blue ramp. Wheelchair ramps is the best blue. Oh, hold on, we gotta check out wheelchair. Wheelchair. What? Are you mean literally like a literal wheelchair ramp? Yeah, there's no such thing as you're talking about Wheelsmith. No, you're not. Okay, whatever. What do we got? Okay, King Ginger wants us to look at Riven Turnbull. River Turnbull, a black, blue, 5 generic for a 5 set. Oh, yeah, okay, so there is a black ramp, but I've never seen blue. This is the first time I saw blue. There's probably another black ramp I'm not thinking. You know what? They're the elf ramps. There's a green elf that ramps in black. So, there's a lot. I think there's more, but blue is the rarest. This is the absolute rarest. Blue Bomber with the super chat. Look up Slumbering Isle for ramp. Slumbering. It's blue-green and it's I guess this is the close. Yeah, you know what? I'll let this count. What the hell? This is a 4 mana 12/12 creature. A Kraken. Enters the battlefield tapped with 5 slumber counters on it. As long as there's a slumber counter on it, it's a land. Whenever you cast a spell, you may remove a slumber counter from... This thing's interesting. Holy crap. I can't tell if this is good or bad. Okay, Larry says, Iwa Mori. We have here green, 2 generic for a 5/5 with trample. When Iwa Mori of the Open Fist, enters the battlefield, each opponent may put a legendary creature card from his or her hand onto the battlefield. What? Well, this is chaos. Each opponent may put a legendary creature card from his or her hand onto the battlefield. That is so risky. They could put like Ulamog in play. And imagine this thing gets exiled, and you have to recast it, and then, I mean, you'll trigger it again. This thing's terrible. So bad. Well, I need a better... Do I have a good sound effect to show how awful this is? Yeah, there we go. I like that one. That's a good sound effect. At least it can't cast command. It can't cast commander. That's right. You can't cheat your commander in play. That won't work. David Soroka, thank you so much for the super chat. Noble Hierarch for blue. Oh yeah, for blue ramp and Elves of the Deep Shadow. That's right. How could I forget Noble Hierarch? But it cheats. It adds all the. It's not a blue creature. It's a green creature. Thanks so much for the super chat, David. We got Trevor Peebles with super chat. Malfigor for Madness. Malfigor. I'm assuming it's this one. Another dragon. Is this a dragon? It's a demon dragon. Looks like a centaur. It looks like a mix between a dragon, a centaur, and a demon. Okay. So flying, when Malfigor enters the battlefield, discard your hand. Well, that's not pleasant. Each opponent sacks a creature for each card discarded this way. It's not terrible. It's going to be a board wipe. And then if you could utilize the graveyard, then it's like you didn't discard anything at all. Did we look at the princess? Yeah, we looked at the princess. Urza High Lord Artifice is also... Well, sort of not. Doesn't actually add blue mana by itself. I mean, or maybe it does. It makes a construct immediately, which you can immediately tap for mana. Needs 10 power for a 2-turn clock at least. Okay, well, we got the Dark Master MTG with Barktooth Warbeard is danger. We have another. We have another one of those super old Legends cards. Okay, we got red, black, 4 generic for a 6/5 legend. He is devious and cunning in both appearance and deed. Beware the Warbeard, for this brute bites as well as he barks. It didn't even rhyme. Terrible flavor text. Terrible. What was the advantage of these cards back then? You basically, you had to play 2 colors, I guess, to get like a relatively large creature without downside. Because back then, if you wanted to play like Force, what is it? Force of Nature? Is that what it's called? Force of Nature. So yeah, back in the day, if you were mono-colored and you paid 6 mana for an 8/8 with Trample, it had some outrageous downside. Speaking of your upkeep, it deals 8 damage to you unless you pay quadruple green. Well, that's not good. So I guess the advantage is, okay, you're a 2-color deck here, and you know we won't deal 8 damage to you. Yeah, that flavor text, how legendary. They were some of the earlier multicolor cards, if I recall. Is there like any point to playing these cards by today's standards? Zurgo Bellstriker. Makes me wonder, is Ragavan a decent commander? I can't tell. I don't know if it's good for commander, or is it's just too, like, it might be good. Alright, Zurgo Bellstriker. For a red, we have a 2/2. They can't block creature with power 2 or greater, and has got dash. So dash is useless, right? This is actually one of the, this has gotta be maybe the worst. Well, okay, maybe it's not the worst of the worst commanders, because this one at least can be cast on turn 1. Whereas some of these commanders cannot be cast till turn 7. But when you get to that turn 7, it's going to completely outclass Zurgo Bellstriker. Bellstriker was good way back in standard. Yeah. As like it's a red aggro card, though. I'm not trying to make use of the legendary creature. So hold on. You may cast the spell for its dash cost. If you do, it gains haste. Can you dash things in from the command zone or no? I'm gonna guess no. But if you can, then I guess this gives it some ability. Yeah, I mean, this is the question I'm asking. I have no idea. I'm gonna guess no, but who knows? Then maybe Ragavan is really good as a commander. Oh, really? It's subject to commander attacks? Holy crap. So but you're telling me I can do it. You're telling me I can do it, Omik. It just costs me more. It's just, the tax just costs more and more every single time. Okay, Gear. Thanks so much for the super chats. Lord of Tressorhorn. Alright, we got from the alliances. Red, black, blue, 1 generic for a 10/4. Well, that's not bad. I mean, that's like, okay, it's not exact. It's a 3-turn clock still, but that's enormous. Okay, when Tressorhorn comes into play, pay 2 life and sack 2 creatures. Well, I don't like that. I don't like the sound of that all of a sudden. And target opponent draws 2 cards. Oh god. Effects that prevent or redirect damage cannot be used to counter this loss of life. And you can pay a black to regenerate it. It doesn't look too bad. Like target opponent. Okay, you can give somebody. I can see someone playing this card. You pay 2 life, which is nothing. You have 40 life to work with. Give somebody. Only one player gets to draw 2 cards. Yeah, you could even Torpor Orbit. It's not bad for 4. I know. A 10 power thing. Attack you for 10 commander damage. The sad thing, though, is even if you double strike it, you can't kill somebody. This is actually pretty good for a really bad card. I mean, I'm not playing it. I have no intention to. It's not that bad. It can definitely have its place in those colors. Said Garbos. Corbinek says, rude, I use that card as an alternate win con in my Mana Pie mill deck. Hey, you look at Lord of the Tresor Horn, you say challenge accepted. I can make this thing work. You know, one of the most common comments I get from you guys is you love these worst card videos because you love hearing about cards you never heard of. And I'm sure after today, the stock of Lord of Tresor Horn is gonna go up. It's like part group hug of a card and part, well, you know, lethal. It's just straight up lethal. And you can protect it with regenerate. Can you name as one, please? Name as one. Oh, we did this one already. Yeah, 8/8. It's completely useless. For 12 mana. Okay, Stang is hilariously bad for its effect. Stang? Or like Stank. Hold on, which one? I'm assuming this one. Literally called Stang. Looks like Thanos in human form. It's human Thanos. Okay, we got green, red, 4 generic for a 3/4 human warrior. It's legendary though. When Stang enters the battlefield, create a legendary 3/4 red and green human warrior creature token named Stang Twin. Exile that token when Stang leaves the battlefield. Sacrifice Stang when that token leaves the battlefield. So it just doubles the liability. So I just have to kill one or the other and they lose both. That is so weird. Yeah, more like Stank. Multiplayer dynamics favor weakness than surprise. It's true. You gotta feign weakness and no one will attack you. But don't have nothing, because then people will just think, oh, you have nothing at all, so I'll attack you. You gotta have at least something. You gotta make people think. A stanky leg? What the hell are you talking about? Alright, we got Tanawa. What do we got here? Blue, 3 generic, 7/7 with phasing and trample. So we get to have this card only half the time. At the beginning of your upkeep, all lands you control phase out. What's going on here? Tanawa rolls in its sleep and the land is awash with the waves. At the beginning of your upkeep, all lands you control phase out. How the hell do I make use out of this? Oh, I can't even play Armageddon because it's not in the color identity of blue. Oh no. I'm gonna lose all my lands! This is terrible! and this thing has phasing like half the time. Well, and how does this work? So it has phasing. So actually, okay, at the beginning of your upkeep, all lands you control phase out. I don't even know how this card works, because it's going to be around half the time. No, phasing happens at like the untap step. So I phase him in. So when he exists, I don't have lands. And then when he phases out, I'm going to have lands. At the beginning of your upkeep, all lands you control phase out. That is just beyond awful. Okay, we got the Von Temple here with the super chat. The Waffle House has found its new host, and it's Axelrod Gunnerson. Axelrod Gunnerson. I'm surprised how much drama the Waffle House gets. Seems like such a simple restaurant. Okay, red, black, 4 generic for a 5/5 giant with trample. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Axelrod Gunnerson this turn is put into a graveyard, you gain 1 life, and Axelrod deals 1 damage to target player. Could you not, like, shoot someone to death? Whenever a creature is dealt damage by Axelrod Gunnerson this turn, it's put into a graveyard. Oh, no, Oh, so you have to get people to, like, block it. You gain a life, and it deals 1 damage to target player. I get it. But you need someone to block this thing. We just got Waffle Housed? I don't get it. Nicholas says, as mana went at the end of turn during... Oh! Something to do with this. As mana went at end of turn during mana burn days. Ian says, Ishi-Ishi Aki Crackshot. Ishi-Ishi. Oh! I thought, you know, I thought you were, like, just making fun of it. It's actually called Crackshot. So he's like, is he aiming for the butt crack of other people? We're going for that crack shot. Whoop! Okay, whenever an opponent plays a spirit or arcane spell, Ishi-Ishi Aki Crackshot deals 2 damage to that player. Here fell Ishi-Ishi, king of the flaming pebbles, scourge of the mountain Kami, lover of goats. May his shell never burn. As a 1/1 creature. When an opponent plays a spirit or arcane spell. So basically you're literally hating on your friend that's playing their spirits deck. It's basically what Ishi-Ishi is. You'd pull out Ishi-Ishi Aki Crackshot if you know you're if you're really hating on your spirit's friend playing their spirit deck. Hold on, what was that creature called? In aim as 1. You play in aim as 1? Alright, I'm bringing out the Ishi-Ishi Aki Crackshot. Yeah, at least the goat is cute. Oh, he's standing on the goat. Hold on, is this Kiki Jiki? Looks like Kiki Jiki. Is this the Kiki Jiki origin story? It literally looks like Kiki Jiki. Someone tell me if I'm wrong here. It's like baby Kiki Jiki. How many goblins can look like this? With like the jagged back. Do be a nice goat. Seth with the Jedit. What is this? Jedit Ojanen. Sounds like a Legends card. Okay, hold on. I'm predicting this is coming from Alliances, Homelands, or Legends. That's my guess. And I was right! Those names. They had a pattern to them. So white, white, blue, 4 generic for a 5/5. That's it. We have an Azorius 5/5 for 7 mana. We have the blue-white controls win condition. Is there such a card called Grandmother Singer? Not that I know. I cannot see that. Zeke Fox says, I gotta say, I watched one of the previous AI-generated cards one and laughed so hard at the card that said, instead of paying the mana cost to gain green, 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 take an extra turn. Oh yeah, those cards are great. They are specifically Kamigawa goblins. This is what Kamigawa goblin looks like. The special goblin from a special world. Did we do Okra? Or Orca Siege? Siege Demon. No, we didn't. This is like a newish card. Alright, so red, black, 5 generic for a 5/5 demon with trample. Whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Orca Siege Demon. And when Orca dies, it deals damage equal to its power, divided as you choose among any number of targets. But for 7 mana, that's quite expensive. 7 mana? Basically everything that was going to die is already dead. There's a Grandmother Singer? What is it called? Oh, was I supposed to look up Grandmother? Okay, how many Grandmother cards are there? Oh! Alright then. The Grandmother Sengir. Or is that... I know Singer, S-E-N-G-I-R. It's hard to remember. Okay, black for generic for 3/3. Legendary human wizard. Oh my god. Someone just put an end to her misery. She's a 3/3 creature with a black 1 generic. Tap. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. How oppressive to the 1 toughness creatures out there. Although I'm sure this card on the battlefield would make blocks very awkward. Although, however, I don't know if anyone wants to go all in on mono black just for a 3/3 that can make creatures a smidge smaller. A Tog? Isn't a Tog like one of the best cards of all time? You get access to 5 colors. Sack and a Tog, it gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the sacrifice to Tog's power. Is there an Atog commander deck out there? I know there's Slivers. Because who doesn't like Slivers? Slivers is awesome. Sengirs are like the Addams family of the MTG universe. I don't doubt it. Atog is a good boy. Is there like, hold on, I always thought it was like all of these guys at once. Is it just this one guy at the top? And the rest are his minions to be sacrificed? Yeah, but nowadays, can't Atog be decent with all the changelings? Probably. Okay, Seth with the Riven Turnbull. Oh, we saw this one already. Ian, Karona False God. Karona. How the hell do we get this thing? Karona. There we go. Green, red, black, blue, white, 1 generic. I always assumed like a 5-color commander was always good no matter what, because you get to play with all 5 colors. So a 5/5 with haste. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player untaps Karona False God and gains control of it. Whenever Karona attacks, creatures of the type of your choice get +3/+3 until end of turn. So you don't even get to keep this thing. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player untaps. So everyone gets a Karona the False God. I lost to that card so many times. We should do more of the more recent cards. Most recent worst legendary cards. Please do Telim'Tor, aka Mr. Toilet. Telim'Tor. Which one? Well, I guess it has to be the one that's a legend. Okay. Why is he called Mr. Toilet? Okay, red, 4 generic. Flanking. If Telim'Tor attacks, all attacking creatures with flanking gets +1/+1 until end of turn. The curious merely amass knowledge, the ambitious use it. What does that have to do with the toilet? Is he on a toilet? He's on a horse. John with Huang Zhong. Huang Zhong. Shu General. What do we got here? White, 2 generic for a 2/3. And he cannot be blocked by more than 1 creature each turn. Can't be blocked by more than 1. But you can still block it. And by the way, it's not even going to take that much to block this stupid thing because it's a 2/3 creature. Just block it with anything. Can't be blocked by more. Well, this actually is funny. Can't be blocked by more than 1 creature each turn. But it's not like you need more than 1 creature to do the job. The Jaded says Draco is very horrible. What do you guys think about Draco? Actually, is this even playable? So hold on. Is this just literally uncastable? So it's a 16 mana 9/9, but it costs 2 less to play for each basic land type among lands you control. So you can squeeze in a Yavimaya Cradle of Growth. You can squeeze in Urborg, and then maybe you can play some artifacts that steal your opponent's mana. Because otherwise, if I understand correctly, like this is not, because it's not in the color identity, you're not allowed to play any of the lands. Like you can't, by normal standards, you can't be playing with islands, mountains, plains, and stuff like that. if you reanimate it. So you have to like, well, how do you even get it into the graveyard? Draco costs 2 less to play for each basic land type among lands you control. Flying at the beginning of your upkeep. Sacrifice unless you pay 10. Its cost is reduced by 2 for each basic land type among lands you control. Oh, it's not legendary. There's millions of Dracos out there. That's true. It's not legendary. Alright. Disqualified. Not an actual. This is a legendary show. Okay, Sebastian has General Jarkeld. General Jarkeld. So for a white 3 generic, we have a 1. Oh, did we look at? We looked at this one already. Yeah, the 4 mana 1/2 that I didn't want to. Hold on, maybe the old K. I read the actual text and I didn't understand what this card meant. Let's read the OG text. Maybe it makes more sense. Sometimes the OG text makes more sense, even though it's not like very legal by the rules. Okay, switch the blocking creatures of 2 target attacking creatures. Switch the blocking creatures. So if I attack, we just swap them. All defense must remain legal. Use this ability only during combat, after defense is chosen, and before damage is dealt. Okay! That's, you know, this is a great example when the old text makes more sense than the new text. Mr. Very Smart. Zwo Chi. Oh, is it Zwo Chi? No. We don't know. I don't know what this card is. Sorry about that. Turayawat says Seer. Seer Allen. Whoops. The Lion's Claw. White 3 generic for a 4/4 human knight with first strike. And whenever Seer Allen, the Lion's Claw, attacks, other creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. It's good for that human deck. It's more of a Pioneer card. Where I don't even know if it's good in Pioneer. Oh, it's Zwo, not Zo. Okay, hold on. There we go, the Mocking Sage. So green 1 generic for a 1/2. Oh god. Okay, legend. Zwo Chi can't be blocked by creatures with horsemanship. So no block. So if you have a horse, you can't block this guy. Whenever your opponent chooses a creature in play, he or she can't choose Zwo Chi. What? Whenever an opponent... Okay, hold on. What does this mean? Let's look at the... Oh, it just has hexproof. That's a... I was trying to say, this is a really convoluted way of saying it can't be targeted. But it, yeah, it literally just has hexproof. But it sounds like it should be... Yeah, hexproof. This creature can't be targeted by spells or abilities your opponents control. Really, really digging your hair today? Thank you so much. It's my bedhead for today. I like this. So, you know, this is old-fashioned hexproof. Whenever your opponent chooses a creature in play, he or she can't choose Zwo Chi. What is this? Lord of Tressorhorn. Oh, we did this one. Damn it, I guess there's not enough bad legendary creatures out there. Brothers Yamazaki. A red card. Alright, so a red 2 generic for a 2/1 with Bushido 1. If there are exactly 2 permanents named Brothers Yamazaki in play, the legend rule doesn't apply to them. Okay. And each other creature named Brothers Yamazaki gets +2/+2 and has haste. So basically, if you clone this thing, they're allowed to both sit on the battlefield, but you have to clone it. Make Brothers Yamazaki commander legal. Is it not commander legal? It's legal. Play it all you want. It's just hard to get the second. How do you even get another Brothers Yamazaki in play? Is there anything in red that copies cards? Oh yeah, there is, of course. Like Kiki Jiki. Use Kiki Jiki to copy your Brothers Yamazaki. Abzo with Hisoka. Sounds like another one of those cards. Legends, Homelands, Alliances. Oh, I'm wrong. Okay, what does this guy do? Blue, 2 generic for a 1/3 human wizard. Pay a blue 2, discard a card. Counter target spell if it has the same converted mana cost as the discarded card. Discard a card, counter target spell. It's basically, oh, it's like, it's a really awkward counter spell. Counter target spell has the same, so basically, yeah. It basically turns any card in your hand into a counter spell if it's the same mana cost as what is being cast. But very awkward. I've played with cards like this before. What's it called? What is that free blue spell? It's an arcane, I think it's an arcane. No, maybe it's not an arcane spell. Anyway, it's like, it was way too niche. It's really hard to line up the cards in your hand with the spells being cast against you. Did we do Riven Turnbull? Yeah, we did River Turnbull already. I love the Kamigawa books. Lord Magnus. Oh my goodness. Green, white, 3 generic for a 4/3 with first strike. Creatures with Planeswalk or Forest Walk may be blocked as if they did not have either ability. Ian with a Boshin, Cephalid Emperor. Blue, 4 generic for a 3/3. Tap and untap Cephalid you control, tap target permanent. And then blue, tap all creatures without flying. You know what? One-on-one, this is not that bad. Or maybe it is. I don't know what the other Cephalids look like. Maybe they're terrible. The Jaded with Jeska, Warrior Adept. Red, 2 generic for a 3/1, first strike and haste, and tap deals 1 damage to target creature or player. So a 4-mana pinger that can ping immediately. Well, this was a fun Coffee and MTG. Hope you all enjoyed it. As usual, you know where to find me. 11 o'clock a.m. Now, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time, the new time for Coffee and MTG in 2023 on the weekdays. And if you want to, talk more shop about the worst legendary creatures, you got to be here. And thanks so much for your support, everyone. Your super chats, everyone who's a member on YouTube and a patron on Patreon. I really very much humbly appreciate your support for Coffee and MTG. Running strong. How many years have we been doing this now? Has this been going on for like 2-3 years or something like that? I can't believe I've done this for so long. Every single weekday. But the most important thing, more impressive than me showing up every morning, is you guys showing up every morning. Because, well, you guys, I got no show. You guys showing us all the worst commanders, or sorry, the worst legendary creatures. And remember, if you want to challenge yourself, give yourself a little bit of a handicap, if you're overpowering your play group, maybe choose one of these worst commanders and show them how it's done. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing up those coffees, and we will keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you